Hi, long time no see. Good to see you, nice to see you again, etc., and so on and so forth. Today's topic is rivalry. Kind of sparked by heated rivalry, but not exactly because I liked heated rivalry, but it didn't like make me start, thinking. Like it didn't like activate my juices. However, when I watched 10 Dance, which is based on a manga that I have not read, just by the way, but I'm gonna bring you in closer. When I watched 10 Dance, my juices were flowing. And if you know anything about me, you know that I have certain tropes that I am a fan of and certain tropes that I'm really not a fan of. And on that spectrum, rivals to lovers and enemies to lovers is like peak for me, like truly, truly, truly peak. And so I just was like cooking in my head. I'm like, guys, rivalry is literally always heated. No wonder they called it heated rivalry. Like it's always gonna be heated. Like it's literally always gonna be heated. Like it's always gonna be heated. And I think I know why. And I really enjoyed 10 Dance. And so even like just looking at 10 Dance, I was like, oh, I totally see exactly why this is good. Like I totally see exactly why this is good. Like I see why it's eating. So today, let's look at 10 Dance and dissect what it is about this rivalry specifically that makes it so good. And I also think more than just 10 Dance or like sports rivalry or whatever, in general, these are the bones. Like we're looking at the skeleton of rivals to lovers, and it's gonna hit every time. Like it's literally gonna hit every time. So, okay, let's go. Okay, so we obviously need rivals. We need two people who are, in one way or another, an opposite to each other. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that and why it's important that in some way they have to be each other's opposites. I feel like that is completely necessary. If it's not personality, it has to be a societal thing. If it's not a societal thing, it needs to be academically. If it's not academically, it needs to be in community. If it's not in community, it needs to be family wise. If it's not family wise, there needs to be something about them that is opposite to each other. So, in this kind of realm, or specifically when we look at 10 Dance, what we're looking at here are two people who are equally good at something, but for very different reasons. And this creates this kind of like opposition between them. What we have is one who appears pretty perfect in a way, and another one who is less perfect, maybe more chaotic. And so they start to be each other's foils in this way. Sometimes what will happen is that like one character will be on the back foot, and that kind of like provides distance between them, or like an emotional distance, because one of them is maybe trying to aspire to be whatever. What I actually like about 10 Dance is that they both kind of have something that they lack. So it's not just like, oh, one character has a lot of lack and is on the back foot and is like trying to catch up to the other character, but instead they both were missing something. They both are chasing something, and the thing that they're chasing, they can see in each other, and it creates this like dynamic that I think is really spicy. Now, who are these two characters? We have two characters, Suzuki and Suzuki. Suzuki and Sugiki. Suzuki is literally the personification of fire and passion and chaos, and just like when you can tangibly see the passion that somebody has for something. And when it comes to his line of dancing, he's into like Latin dancing, and that's like fiery, it's explosive, it's very upbeat and vibrant. And so even the style of dance that he's in becomes a further extension of himself, and a really good way for us as the audience to understand the actual character. Suzuki, on the other hand, is literally like control, dominance, like order. And his style of dancing is like the ballroom scene, like very structured, very calculated, very precise, right? Like everybody has their role to play, and you do it in a certain way. The swoops are a certain way, the way you move your feet, where you hold the person and their body, like it's all so structured. And so they meet kind of in this movie because they're going to a competition where they need to be able to master 10 different styles of dance, 5 being very like ballroom and 5 being very Latin inspired.
杉木真也が専門にしているボールルームダンス。俺の専門はもう一方のラテンアメリカ。
And so if Suzuki is the best in one end and Suzuki is the best in one end, it makes sense that they would then mentor each other to try and like, so that each one of them can better the side that they're not particularly good at. Suzuki is far too passionate to the point where it kind of makes him unable to even like yield authority. Like, that's a weird way to say it, but it makes it hard for him because he wants to take charge. He has all this like burning passion and he just wants to do and like move and this and that, and he doesn't want to like let somebody lead him in a way. And so he has to learn that. He has to learn to hone in his energy to become more precise, more calculated in his moves. Whereas you have Suzuki, who is fantastic but definitely afraid to lose control. The man cannot even shake his hips. Like, it's literally that bad. And this level of control is something that he extends over others as well. It's not just, oh, he has a lot of control when it comes to dancing. He literally extends this to other people, to his dance partners, and even attempts to extend it in some ways over Suzuki, which is problematic. People are not tools. Like, they're real people. You can't really move like that. That's not really okay. We need to learn how to sort of try and let our emotions and our feelings and the moment sway us. That's something that he needs to learn. The styles that they are really good at, the styles of dancing that they're good at, Latin versus ballroom, become an extension of them. And where we perhaps are not getting dialogue from them saying like, oh, I'm so like controlling, it's fantastic because you get to see it through the way that they dance and the way that they attempt to teach each other and the way that they attempt to lead each other, or their resistance to being led by the other. Not in conversation, but through dance, since the dance acts as like an extension of their personalities. I think that that is like a really fantastic. I love when a story has a thing that is also telling the story without being like, I am telling the story, you know? A really important part of Suzuki's character for me was highlighted when his ex-dance partner was his ex-girlfriend, and she leaves him to dance with somebody else because she says he has basically everything that you could ever need to be fantastic and amazing, but he'll never be number one because what he lacks is love. And it's such a strange moment because Suzuki obviously has love. He obviously loves dance. He would do anything to be at the top. His love is like compulsive and obsessive even, but it's still love. Like, just because maybe expressed in some negative ways doesn't take away from the fact that he still has love. And so it begs the question, like, what is she talking about? And it's something that the character asks himself, I think, quite often in his mind palace, is like, what about me says that I don't have love? Look at all this time that I put into my skills. Look at how hard I work. Like, I am on paper so perfect. So what is it about me that you think would make me not be a winner? And how come you're right? Because he hasn't won. So clearly she was right. Clearly she saw something in him that he cannot see. And he thinks that he would maybe benefit and be able to learn from Suzuki and get this like passionate energy. But the problem is that doesn't just really, like, that doesn't just happen. Like, you don't just like, oh, okay, now I have this passionate energy. Great. Like, he's so obsessed with control that he thinks he can control the input, so not have to give too much of himself, and also control the output, like get a positive result despite not putting too much of himself into the situation. But that's not how that works, is it? Another really interesting thing that I picked up on was their fashion and style. It also kind of represents this same conflict that exists within them. Like, Suzuki looks awesome, but his style is very like, it's vibrant, it's fiery, it's hot, it's sexy. His hair is like these streaks of blonde and it's like curly, and he wears these like tiny tops, and it's like revealing but like in all the right places. Like, it's hot, it's literally hot. And then you have Suzuki, who is always like buttoned up. This man must have like 2 billion turtlenecks, like buttoned up to the top, like cut out suits. Like, it's so repressive. Aww. And so almost like, I would say, like suffocating to a certain extent. And I also think that that's probably how it feels to be him. It's really obvious that the two are interested in each other from the get-go. But I think the reasons for why they're interested in each other are morphing and shifting over time. Like, they're interested in the lack that they see in themselves reflected in the other person. And then they're interested in like, okay, well, what can you teach me? And then there's like these moments of like fighting and like back and forth shifting of dynamics. I will say that the dynamic of rivals to lovers is especially interesting as a trope because it doesn't start off necessarily on good faith. What you have when you watch like or read a story that's friends to lovers or anything like that, anything that starts off on good faith is like, oh, I like this person. Like, it starts with, I like this person. Even if there's some kind of like misunderstanding that might happen, like in a rom-com, for example. But the character knows that they like this person, and that feeling is at the forefront of their actions, even if they're hiding from the person, even if they're running away from the person, even if that is at the forefront. What you have with a trope like this is that they don't necessarily start off on a really good foot. Like, they're not coming in like, oh, I really like you and this is going to be awesome. They're hesitant towards each other. They're always scaling each other. They're always weighing their words. There's a fight for like dominance. There's a point where Sugiki is like showing Suzuki how to dance. And he, at some point, he's like, you have to let me lead. Like, you have to let me lead. And when he swoops him, he says to him something like, oh, do you like that, princess? And it's such an unnecessary moment because you already know that it's hard for him to give up that kind of dominance. But you go in for the kill and you like, you push. So there's this push and pull. There's this always shifting dynamic. You think it's good and you think like, oh, we're on the right page. And then somebody says something or does something that reminds them that like, oh yeah, I never trusted you to begin with, or I never should have trusted you, or I never should have let my guard down. And even within the yearning the yearning exists inside the angst, and it's just really good. I really enjoy it, and you get a lot of it in 10Dance. They question themselves, they question each other, they question how far they can push each other, but it's good because it is this tension that you know is gonna build and snap, and it's like there's this like romantic tension.
指先の神経までホールドしただけであいつの感情が伝わってくんのよ。
恋してる人みたい。
The train scene. I don't want to say too much. Watch the movie. Watch the movie. But it all, you know that it's gonna get to a moment where things unravel. It has to. And that's usually the best part. In the end of 10Dance, spoiler alert, I guess this is the only spoiler you'll get from me, but they don't even go to the competition. Or we don't see them go to the competition. You know, I'll see you at 10Dance. We don't see them go to the competition. So who wins, who loses, who wins and who loses the competition isn't really important, actually. Who wins and who loses as far as love goes? Well, both of them. In the end, there's this really big moment, and you have Suzuki learning to have some degree of control and trust and the ability to be led by another person. And you also have Suzuki learning to let go, have fun, actually enjoy the thing that you're doing, and allow yourself to feel that joy without immediately wanting to repress it and control and, you know, seek out ways to exert this like dominance over others and yourself. And he's able to do it publicly, right? And that is the bigger win. Like, yes, the whole story exists within the competition and all that kind of stuff, but we don't even see it because it actually doesn't matter. What matters is this journey of rivals to lovers, this journey between the two of them and where they end up, which is really, it's nice to see. I giggled. I kicked my feet. And so, yeah, I'm always gonna love rivals to lovers, enemies to lovers, people who are literally out to kill each other and somehow, even in that, can find love. Like, I'm always gonna be like, yes, put it on my plate. I'm always going to be hungry, and I really enjoy 10Dance. Like, if you've not watched it, you should watch it. It's really good. It's filmed really well. I do think that probably because it was a manga that was kind of compressed so that it can be a movie, there are some parts where I'm like, what? Like, obviously, like, okay, compression has happened, but I don't think it's such a big deal that you would be like, okay, I don't understand anything. What the heck is happening? Like, you would understand it still. And it got me thinking, like, I was like, yeah, like, Rivals to Lovers is hot, guys. Like, it's really hot. It's so much tension being built, and every time you have these moments of like these cracks in the facade, you're like, oh, I'm so close to getting something good out of these people. And then when it happens and it like unravels or they move forward, or it's just good and highly enjoyable. That's all I have for you today. That was fun. I love to yap. My camera is on 5%, so gotta go. Bye. Great. And now every car in the whole world is passing. Also, oops, I dropped my mic. Where's my Coke? It's almost finished. Oh. Okay. Happens, but oh, excuse me. A Coke.